Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, good evening. We are from Group A. Today we will present our PowerPoint about the lack of teacher knowledge and skill in providing educational service to students with special needs. Before we start, here the member of the Group A. First, we have Mayang Ardiansyah. Second, we have me, Melanie Normasianingsih. The third, we have Muhammad Fauzi Abdillah. Fourth, we have Muhammad Salsabil. And then we have Nabila Zahwa Erindindia. Next, we have Nabila Mauludfi Purnomo. And the last, we have Raisatul Ifa Asofia. So the next slide is the table of the content. The first one is problem background. Second is problem example. The third is problem solving from video. And the next is problem solution. And then implementation in ELT class. And the last is reference. The first one we will discuss about problem background, and that will be presented by Raisatul Ifa.
The first point is problem background. The development of inclusive education in several countries is increasingly accepted and growing quite rapidly over time. Nevertheless, in its application, there are still various issues and problems that must be handled wisely so as not to hinder efforts and processes toward inclusive education itself, and in line with the philosophy and concepts underlying it. Lack of teacher skills is one of the problems in implementing inclusive education that needs to be resolved. This is due to the teacher's lack of understanding of the importance of learning about children with special needs. Often most teachers only carry out about only carry out their responsibilities as teaching staff for the students, but they are not in depth in understanding the problems that occur to each student. Of course, this can be a hindrance to the implementation of inclusive education, and it is necessary to immediately find a solution for it. The next slide, we will discuss about problem example that will be presented by Nabila Zahwa.
Okay, so these are the problem examples of teachers' knowledge lack on teaching students with special needs. First, most teachers don't understand the characteristic of their students with special needs. They also have not known about the methods for teaching the students with special needs. Second, the teacher also faced various kinds of problems with different APK and different treatment as well the number of APK that exist, the quota in each class had less impact on the process of teaching and learning activities. Third, the minimum awareness of the teachers who are teaching the students with special needs make them often feel bothered by the students with special needs. Next, the problem solving from the video, it will be presented by Mayang Ardiansyah.
Okay, so this is the third point, problem solving from the video. Regarding the lack of teacher skills in inclusive education, we got some points from the video that can be used as a solution to this problem. The first point is co-teaching. Here are several models of teacher teaching methods that can be implemented in inclusive classes. The first one is team teaching. So here, instruction and planning are equally shared between both general education and inclusive education teacher. The second one is one teach, one support, which one teacher circulates the room and the other teacher handles instruction for the students. And the third one is alternative teaching. Here, one teacher has the large group and the other teacher pulls out the small group. Next is parallel teaching. So here, the class split into two, which both teach the same content and lessons. And the last one is station teaching. So there are different stations for children to have activities which teachers leading various stations. Next point is collaboration. In order for the maximum learning process to take place, it takes time for teachers to prepare various learning needs together. They need to make lesson plans and various joint activities. Integrated services in the form of communication and delivery methods in class are also needed. Besides that, no less important, teacher professionalism is also needed. Next point is problem solution, and it will be presented by Fauzi Abdullah.
Okay, so it's my turn to explain about the problem solution. The first solution is uh, in understanding the behavior of a child with special needs, the teacher must think attributional and dialectic, where the teacher must really understand with full awareness of what causes the child's behavior, sometimes which is some which is sometimes considered strange or different from children in general, building a comprehensive understanding, which is expected to have an impact on the behavior towards students. Number two, teachers for children with special needs must be sensitive to children's behavior, which are unique and tend to be uncontrollable. In interpreting each behavior that appears, the teacher is expected to think about every response and reaction to the student's behavior. Don't act too quickly without, without thinking first, because this will affect student development. And then number three, as educators, teacher, teachers must be able to educate with love. Even with students with special needs, teachers must respect the characteristic of students with special needs that are different from others. There can be no judgment in the learning process so that students' creativity is not hampered. And then the next is implementation in ELT class.
Okay, so number 5 is implementation in ELT class. So based on the solution mentioned before, related to the inclusive education for the EFLS is that the teacher has the important role of the lesson process, and also the other parts help the goal of the equal education can be reached. These solutions can be implemented in the classroom. For the example, the teacher should be able to do variety of teaching methods that will be applied in the class differently, divided by the students' needs. Teachers are expected to be professional when it comes to the teaching method and the mastery of materials. But not only for the teacher, the school as the institution should be able to provide such facilities to support the teaching and learning activities such as writing, reading, speaking, and listening.
If all of the requirements are fulfilled, then we can implement the inclusive education properly. Number 6, references. And these are the references we used for the discussion we have done. And this all our presentation. Thank you.